Hi guys, today I'm doing a different video to what I normally do. I'm looking through some old artwork I did when I was younger. So I'm going to be starting with some of the stuff over here. I'm not really sure exactly what's in here, but I think most of this stuff I was really young. But I'll have to go through it and see, and then I'll let you know how old it was. This little book I made is a story I've done about Cinderella and Snow White. So I've just drawn her over and over again with her, I don't know, she kind of looks a bit like a snowman, little snowman body. My mum actually said that when she brought this down for the loft for me, that she thought I would actually end up being a children's illustrator because I did enjoy drawing the characters over and over again. I actually remember doing this. I think I was in Year 3, I think it was within my first few weeks of starting Year 3, and so it was like the first time we'd been allowed to go to the library, and I'd taken out this book on shells, and as you can see I'd just drawn various shells from the book and written about them. To be honest, I think I did quite well with copying these. Obviously I don't know what the original looked like, but I wouldn't say these are a bad attempt really for a 7-year-old. So this one is another book, another story about Cinderella. It looks like this is a photocopy version. I think they're meant to be the ugly stepsisters, and there's little Cinderella in her rag dress. Yeah, crying because she's sad because she's been treated badly by the ugly stepsisters. And again you can see that I'm drawing the same characters over and over again, which I think I definitely enjoyed doing when I was younger. And I think I did a good job of drawing them over and over again. Even though, you know, obviously it's not the best drawn and it's drawn like a child would draw it, she definitely looks the same in each picture. And there's the fairy godmother with a pumpkin. And then at the end, obviously, it's a happy ending. She finds the prince and I guess they fall in love and live happily ever after. So this, I actually know where I got the paints from. I got the paints as a present because it was my brother's birthday. Maybe I was about 5, maybe. But yeah, these were these special metallic paints that were really nice paints. But this probably wasn't the best paper to do it on. And it looks like it might have been hung up, stuck up somewhere. So for this, I think I was a bit older. I would have been in Year 6. So this was a little birthday card I made for my hamster Lily, drawn in Microsoft Paint. So obviously not particularly great because I guess I did it with a mouse, but you know, it still looked like her. So this is the book. It says Everything in the World book. Not much inside it. Some flowers, which actually I'm pretty similar to some of the flowers I actually draw nowadays. So this is a pillow I made. It was a sort of self-portrait of myself at the time. I think I was in Year 1 when I did this. Obviously we had help. I actually remember making this. Yeah, I remember these actually all being stuck up on the wall in the classroom for a while. Like everyone's in the class had these little pillow faces of themselves up. So this is a little car I made. I made this in design technology, so I think I was in Year 4 or 5 when I did this, so I would have been about 8, I think. It used to work. I mean, the wheel's fallen off now. It did work, and we raced these across the classroom floor to see who moved the fastest and who was the best built. I have no idea what I came in, but I know I didn't win. But it's still cute. I've got a little picture there, which I guess is me. I'm not really sure who that's meant to be. So I just found a old report card, and it actually looks like I was that I was actually better at science than I was at art. I'm only consistent in everything in science, and then everything else I'm usually alright at. Yeah, I don't actually remember liking art that much at school. I mean, I definitely enjoyed drawing and stuff. I think when I got older, we used to have to do certain things that I didn't want to do. I just wanted to draw characters and make up stories, and I didn't like the fact that we were being told what to do, especially when I started getting into junior school. When like Year 3 and 4 and upwards, we had to do more things which related to what we were learning at the time. This next one says Tinkerbell and the Fairy. Probably should have picked better paper as you can't really see her skin, because I don't think those wings are going to pick up her body. It looks like every single page I painted in the corners for some reason a different colour. I have no idea why. I guess there was some reason for it at the time. I also need to work on my placement of the text, which I still struggle with actually nowadays as well. So I haven't improved much there then. I vaguely remember doing this. I'm not sure what it was for. I think I just did this myself, or maybe in free time at school or something. But I actually remember sticking these on. It's called The Beautiful Mermaid, spelled really, really badly if you can read that. I think it was meant to be some kind of weird pop-up book, so if you lift that up, there's this little thing here which I think is supposed to be a fish. Look at those hands. It looks like she's got flowers for hands instead of actual hands. So this was a book we all had to make in year 1, I think. There was this book about this tiger who wouldn't go to sleep, and it's an actual book, but then for some reason our teacher used to take these books and then kind of make her own version, and she'd make us kind of copy it and make it as well. I think it was just teaching us how stories and things work. And I'm pretty sure I probably would have really enjoyed doing these, and I do remember doing quite a lot of these. Obviously for the front cover we did colour in a picture the teacher had just printed in, but inside I did draw all the pictures myself. So that's meant to be a tiger. He's floating in the air, I don't know why he's not on the ground, but he's not. He's a flying, and he's a very weird looking tiger. I think he's got a massive tiger tail. It's more like a fox with a giraffe neck. I don't really know. So this one is meant to be a lion. So once the tiger decided he didn't want to go to bed, he went and met up with a lion. And it looks like that might be a little lion cub. It looks more like a leopard. I don't really know. I'm not really sure what it's meant to be. This elephant, which I've coloured in and drawn with pencils, with just a grey pencil instead of a colouring pencil. Don't know why. Maybe there was no grey colouring pencils, so I just used a normal one instead. But he's a very blocky little elephant. It looks a bit like it could be something from Minecraft or something. And he's got his little baby there as well. I'm not really sure what this is meant to be, but he's coloured with pencil and then had coloured pencil on top over him. And he's got these little felt eyes as well. I might have to go and look at the actual book and see if I can find it online, because I actually want to know what it is. On the back there's this little leaf pocket which this little tiger is meant to go in. Yeah, I think I struggle a lot with cutting out because you can see how badly it's been cut. I think it's because I'm left-handed. So this is a little book I drew of like various different birds. The reason I did this was because my grandparents had given me this soft toy bird. Its tag had various other birds on it that you could get as well, and I think I just went out and drew them. I have no idea what these are meant to be. If you think you know, let me know. I have no idea. And then this little one here with his wings. Kind of, you can see his wings are kind of weird, like this one's underneath him. He's wrapped his wings around his whole body. So this was another book I did at school where we would basically copy another person's book. I guess it was called Once Upon a Time. And there was about a cat in a dark house, I think. Yeah, so it was a dark wood, and there's my dark wood with a little cat and a scary looking house. So I think it might actually look more like a boat than a house, but I think it was just meant to have turrets. It was meant to be some kind of castle, and then the cat again getting into with his long claws. This was meant to be a curtain, so we just had to draw a pattern which is a curtain which kind of flaps upwards. I'm not sure if it's meant to do that or if that was an accident. But on the next page there's this cloth here you can lift up, and underneath it you can see a cat. This page is meant to be a box. Doesn't really look like one, but you know, that's what it's meant to be. And then underneath there was a mouse in a bed. There's some bedding over him, and then under the bedding is a little mouse. And actually you can take the little mouse out. So this little book was given to everyone at school. It kind of feels like a magazine. It's kind of weird paper. Inside it's just normal paper, but the outside just feels like a magazine. I don't know why we were given this, but everyone in my class had one of these, and it was just meant for us to draw in our free time. And again, I've drawn about Tinkerbell and I've drawn fairies. I actually remember doing this with a friend and we kind of made up a story together. And they're really big, blocky, shaped cat characters and with the massive hands. Huge, that are like way longer than any of the other parts of them, like so much longer than even the body. But yeah, that's how I drew them. But it looks like I'm just drawing the same characters over and over again, which obviously I really liked doing a lot when I was younger. This book I think was another one we did at school, on Cinderella, and it looks like I actually made it into a pop-up book as well. But yeah, my little Cinderella on the cover with what looks like a cat and she's holding her broom, which is kind of a messy broom and I don't think it'd do much. It looks more like something, a chimney sweep or something. Though I do like the pattern I done on the outside of the circle. I think that's really nice. And in here I think this is meant to be the ugly stepsister, so you open that up. It might be an ugly stepmother, I'm not really sure. Kind of look weird, she's got strange lips and crazy hair, massive nose, and kind of weird pointy ears. I'm not really sure what's going on with her ears. And she's got a really small forehead. This is another book we've done. I think this is probably for school as well. Who knows? But I've got a little girl here. You can see her hands. They're still massive flowery ones. This is probably exactly the same time as those other drawings. Because my style is, you know, so similar to those ones. So here's a painting of a bear I've done. This is another book, but this is just the cover. It looks like it's a little bear with a hat on. I think this was another one of the stories that we took and then we redid ourselves. I have no idea which one this one is though. But it looks like it's like about a bear who has a sieve on his head. I don't know if you can really see the holes drawn in that, but there are holes there in the hat. So this is the two characters, which I think are bears, here having a picnic. It's very messy. So for one of our projects we were looking to find a Yeti. This was in year 6 as well, and this is my little Yeti. I think he reminds me a bit of that Pokemon. You know, the little Pokemon heads that are poking out of the ground. I can't think of the name right now, but I don't know, his face and his nose just remind me of that so much. So I'm not really sure what this is about, but I did this for school as well, and this is a picture of my family and my hamster, and I'm just talking about how I was really excited when we got my pet hamster. So that's what I've drawn there. I think I've definitely got a lot better with my hands there. You can see they're a lot more normal size. I mean, they're actually probably, the arms are way too small there, but at least they're not massive and they don't look like I've got flowers growing out of my arms. But during our reading time in year 6, we had to draw a book cover of one of our favourite books. At the time, I was obsessed with Enid Blyton, so I drew this cover from her Mallory Towers series. But yeah, I didn't trace it, so I think I did a pretty good job. My colouring's really good on this. I remember the red background taking me forever to do, and I was on that for days. This is another book. I think again it was one of the books we copied, but I don't know because I don't recognise the story at all. Again, massive hands, animals with huge long claws and really thin bodies. Kind of a bit of a theme here. At least I had a style, I guess. No idea what this is meant to be. I guess she's some kind of princess. I have no idea what that's meant to be. It's a bit weird, but she's got really long hair. And the flowery arm things are a little bit smaller, a bit more in proportion, though she does have a massive head. But I guess it's probably a bit better than some of the other ones. This was drawn for a school project where we had to draw a bear. We were told to bring in our favourite teddy bear, so I did, but he wasn't actually a teddy bear, he was a snowman. So I brought in my snowman because, you know, he was my favourite teddy bear, it was my favourite soft toy, you know, I was kind of thinking along those lines more than teddy bear. But I was actually told by my teachers that I couldn't draw my snowman and I had to draw a teddy bear instead, so they gave me one to draw instead. Which was this one. I was really annoyed because I wanted to draw my snowman. He was still technically a teddy bear, but I had to do this to someone else's bear instead. So this is a poster it looks like I made to promote like not throwing rubbish into the sea. And I've got a little mermaid there with a really weird tail. It's more like she's wearing a dress over her tail than an actual mermaid tail. Another thing I find weird on it, it says it's smells awful, and I can't actually smell, so I'm not really sure why I wrote that. So for this, it looks like we had an activity where we had to draw a alien, and I drew this really rainbowy kind of weird alien with strange yellow and blue teeth. Just like very, very colourful. I think I probably just wanted an excuse to use every colour I had. So for this, we had to draw a family dressed as the ancient Greeks. You can see that I've definitely avoided drawing the hands, and they've just got little stumps and they've got no fingers there whatsoever. This I did at art club. At the time I was living in Egypt and I was going to school there. I only lived there for a year, and I only went to school there for the 1 year as well. I'm pretty sure I got it online, so it might actually be some cartoon character, and I did copy it from a picture I found. But I have no idea if it is a character. This was inspired by some artist, and I actually don't remember who it was, but we did this in art club as well. The point of it was to use these block colours on someone's face. Yeah, I think for my age I definitely did very well with this. There is some little blobs of paint here. Like here there's like a massive blob, which it's kind of a shame. This was something I did for a competition. I think it was something to do with world peace. Probably not the best, and I think I could have done more with that, and the children have been done with watercolours, and I don't know, they're not the greatest, especially since my art did really improve during this year, and I think this was near the end. It definitely could have been better. This was a portrait I did in my art class at school. I think this probably took us a couple of months to do, and it's probably one of the best pieces, if not the best piece I did for a long time after that. I don't know if you can tell, but the way we did it is we had the original photograph and we split the original photograph up into individual squares, and then we did the same to the piece of paper. And then we just copied where the shapes were to then create our face. This teddy bear was up in my bedroom, I think, in Egypt for a few months before we left. It was done with chalk. I definitely think I needed to practice chalk. I'm still not the best, and it's probably really not in proportion because I don't think I used a reference. But, you know, I think it's still quite sweet. It looks like this was a self-portrait that we had to complete in various different medias. So this one was pencil, this one I think was maybe ink and water. I'm not really sure, I can't really tell. This one was watercolours, and this one was like oil pastels. So this sketchbook is full of all my stuff from year 7. So for one of the first tasks we were given for homework was to draw a portrait of ourselves. And this is the one I drew for the first time. I think it's pretty good, you know. There are problems with it, and I definitely think it could have been improved, but I was pretty happy with it at the time, especially since I was young and I hadn't really done anything that detailed before. Our teacher then taught us to draw things upside down. So she actually started off a couple of classes by drawing characters, cartoon characters upside down. So she'd draw them, and then we'd then flip it upside down the other way and we'd be able to see who it is. So I did Bugs Bunny and Dennis the Menace. This was just so we'd start seeing faces as shapes instead of, you know, as a nose or an eye, so we saw the shapes, not the features themselves. So then our teacher would teach us how to get the proportions right. So this is just a random face we drew, so we knew where to position everything. So we had to then draw ourselves again, and this is what I then did. Then eventually we learned how to paint something like this. So this is going to be my last piece for this video. This was a children's book I had to write for my English class in year 8, and I was 12 years old at the time. And it's called Dora the Dopey Dog. This character actually inspired one of my projects for last year of university. The book was called Dora the Dog, and the story was quite different from what I can remember. One of the things I have noticed is, well, obviously this is a children's book, it's not like a massive piece of art, but I think that the style has, my work has probably gone a little bit down. This was probably because this is when I'd left Egypt and my teachers just weren't encouraging me as much as they had while I was out there. So I think I did stop drawing a bit and I did get out of practice. But I did actually remember enjoying making this a lot, and I probably spent a good 2 or 3 weeks doing it. It's all done with coloured pencils, and then I think I stuck in, I stuck in the text. Still was really happy with it when I completed it. So this is the first picture of the house. So it kind of started the same way with Dora in her house. The house is very different to the house I ended up with. This one's quite blocky. If I was going to redo this, I definitely would do them closer together because they are quite separated. I feel like I've just left a lot of white space, and I think if I redid it, I'd make the perspective different, add more detail into it, because it's literally just the sky, the ground, and then the characters. And the same again there. Yeah, and this is a monkey, Milo the monkey and Boris the bear. None of these extra characters ended up making it into the final book. This book I had to read to a local school. I think we got a bus over, and we had to read it ourselves to different children. And then at the end, she snuggles down, and as you can see, she's actually kind of similar to the final one I did, because she has got the yellow walls and the orange bed. I haven't actually seen this book in years, so it's actually quite surprising how kind of similar that is to the new version. So at the back there's this little pocket where I've got these little cardboard cutout versions of Dora. I remember giving these to the children I read the story to, and they were actually kind of obsessed with them. They were really happy with them. I think it was just because it was a little fun thing for them to have and hold at the end. Because you know how some books have soft toys, I think that was kind of what I was going for. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please press the like button, subscribe and hit the bell. If you want to see more of these, please let me know in the comments below. I definitely want to do more because I have loads more stuff to look through. I've got drawings I did out of school to look through, and then I've also got some GCSE and college work which would be fun to look at as well. I'll be back again next Saturday for another video, so I'll see you then. Bye!